Now that I'm older, I'm only going to hang out with nearsighted people I've known for a long time. That way, when they say, you haven't changed a bit, well, to them, I really haven't. I look exactly the same. Welcome, welcome, and one more big welcome to Bangs and Botox, Women Who Wear Aging Well, the podcast where just right aged women don't just age, we glow up. I'm your host, Diane Dean-Epps, and each month I'm serving up laughs and rants and reminders because life's too short to hold things in, including our bodacious bodies. Let it all out. Thoughts, feelings, seams. I'm an author, a teacher, a comedian, and a mama and Mimi to the second power. If aging's the joke, then we might as well own the punchline and our point of view. Subscribe now to Bangs and Botox for ease of access to humorous asides as we row along through the river of life. From chin hairs to career pivots, from hot flashes to what the heck was I saying again? Nothing's off limits. Just a quick shout out to my male listeners. This podcast is for you too. How so? Well, because you love a woman and, more than likely, several women. They're your moms, sisters, grandmothers, friends, confidants, temperature checkers, inspiration givers, and so much more. Women is in the title because this scripted, so it doesn't seem like it is show, is from the perspective of this woman. That means it naturally addresses what may be classified as typically female topics like yes, the menopause specifically, but then other physical aspects of inhabiting a female body in general, along with things that we all experience as we age, like invisibility and assumption that we must have already done it all, or at least what we could, and so we must be done. Not by a long shot. I'm here to tell you, and we're celebrating women. It's a slice of wonderful to be here with you today for our comedy clatch that I refer to as sit down stand up. When last we shared the airwaves, I talked about the menopause, as I like to call it. I don't know why I put an article in front of it because it's funny. And I called it the never pause because, we know it's in the name. The symptoms really never do pause. It's a real good news, bad news scenario. On the good news front, we want to still have at least some of those luscious hormones circulating in our body because they regulate a multitude of bodily functions, pieces, and parts. Think bones, urinary tract, heart, blood vessels, our skin, and, our interest in, people that we're attracted to. Well, on the bad news side of things, we're in a state of flux, which is tricky. But just like life's lessons, there is no one and done. We're all in this together. And men, your allies. Women, your sisters in arms, sharing this same experience. In this episode, Choose All the Lanes, I'm going to talk about how you don't ever have to pick a lane, as we hear too often on the career front. You can travel all the lanes. Because I take my own advice, well, you know what? I try to take my own advice. Storytime with Diane will tell you about one of those times when I tried a pretty different lane for me in the form of pole dancing. It's called the North and South Pole, and I'll tell you a story about that later in this broadcast. Choose All the Lanes is all about empowerment. And yes, it does have the angle of elder empowerment, mainly because I'm the elder talking about empowerment. So, it goes to that point of view, but it applies to all of us. We get to grab hold of the confidence to fully inhabit the simultaneously simple and complex creatures that we are. So often, too often, we're told our diverse experiences aren't a plus. We should specialize, especially in the world of employment. I've been told this so many times. It's your turn, your truth, your spin, your view, your creativity. You don't need to be edited. You have something to say, feel, do. So, for good measure, I'm going to throw in, if not now, when? Why wouldn't we want to drive down all the lanes? Currently, I'm now focused on my teaching, dancing, writing, and podcasting persona. But you know what? That can change. I proudly list and celebrate all I've been able to do and accomplish. This in the face of prospective employers asking me after they review my resume to, quote, walk them through this diverse and mature resume. Oh, geez. I mean, just say it. Why have you done so many different things, Diane? And how old must you really be? I mean, I know we're in a fully HR-sponsored work environment these days, but honestly, because I've done so much, something is wrong with me. When did experience become a negative, for Pete's sake? I mean, I played all my strengths, which has, ironically enough, led to continuous gainful employment, yay, these many decades. I don't want to be a specialist. I'm not looking to be classified and cataloged like a bug in a display case. If you've listened to previous episodes, you'll know that what I say about all these experiences is it's just great fodder for the creativity. And so I go ahead and spread that around in a variety pack of channels, writings. And so before we go on with this episode, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about where you can find me. Bangs N Botox is distributed free by a number of providers, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and it's always going to be on these free types of services. They're all listed on my website at DianeDean-Epps.com. There you're going to find links to my writing and info about my published books. I distribute a Ms. Right Now newsletter on LinkedIn, along with hosting a Bangs N Botox company page there, just in case you're a LinkedIner. If you are, reach out to me. Let's connect. I've got a myriad of humor columns out there, so if you're bored, just tap my name into your favorite search engine and voila, things to read. Yay, things to read. In this You Do You in Any Way You See Fit episode, I really thought about how often women apologize and ask for permission. Evidently, I'm not alone because I've noticed the proliferation of the phrases sorry, not sorry in our current cultural lexicon. And, I've gotten a bit snarky about this because now that I've noticed the loads of apologizing and asking for permission, I've course corrected accordingly, which means things like this go down in my life. I'll just be minding my own business, heading down an aisle, shopping for some sort of food or goods, when I realize another patron and I can't pass each other comfortably without someone pulling over. I'll usually say something clever like, I'm just going to go around you for a sec, to which I often get a reply along the lines of, you're fine. Well, so then Miss Snark sniffs the air, stands at attention and says, I know I am. Thank you. Half the time my comment is lost on the wind. But for me, it's about not apologizing for every blessed thing I do that seems to intersect with another human's and ye gads life and maybe not work for them. I know. Can we say work in progress? That's me, living life off the mat. Speaking of when I live life off the mat, I like planning for a little spontaneity in my life. So every so often, though, I can be somewhat spur of the moment with decisions about new things I might want to try. And this has led to a myriad of activities like hiking across a swinging suspension bridge high above a canyon, ziplining over a busy outdoor mall in Las Vegas, and then pole dancing. I've mentioned in previous episodes and writings that I'm a pretty accident-prone individual until it comes to dancing. However, with pole dancing, I looked a little bit like a clumsy baby monkey, desperately holding onto a tree branch for dear life until her monkey mommy could come and rescue her. I know I'm making the visual seem much cuter than it was with that little adorable monkey metaphor, let me tell you. I looked nothing like the lusciously lithe creature who taught the class. She used the pole as an accessory, accentuating how limber, athletic, and strong she was. My version was to accentuate how determined, seemingly fearless, and sturdy I was. I bring you Storytime with Diane, the North and South Pole. I'll try just about anything legal once, which is what propelled me into giving pole dancing fitness a whirl, literally. The week leading up to the event, I gleefully told anyone I came eyeball to eyeball with about my impending class. I loved seeing the look on their faces, something akin to horror and curiosity. Horiosity, maybe? Eventually, it dawned on me I needed to quit fooling around and prepare for the class mentally and physically. Thus, I commenced with carrying out the equivalent of balloon flight offloading of unnecessary items and applied it to unnecessary calories. That meant I didn't just purchase fruits and vegetables so they could sit prettily in hand-painted bowls, but I actually ate them. All of them. All the time. Because I was starving due to a radical shift in my main food groups of carbohydrates and sugar being relegated to minor portions. Then I turned my attention toward mental preparation. I needed to become at one with my not as yet grasped pole. Approach the pole. Embrace the pole. Be the pole. I envisioned being introduced to the sport. And make no mistake, it is in fact a sport, via a mini training pole that would enable me to climb and twirl, empowering me to new heights. Literally. I envisioned my pole dancing fitness instructor telling me I was a natural, with a look on her face that showed she'd never seen the likes of someone like me before. That actually would prove to be true, but not the part about that it was positive. I'd experienced the feeling that's realizing I'd been waiting my entire life to discover my pole dancing fitness natural talent. Oh, what an imagination I have, because let me tell you, there was nothing natural about what happened when I tried to take to the pole. Because I've been dancing my whole little life, I mistakenly felt that would give me a leg up. Sheer folly. It did not. Not only did I not have a leg up, did you think I was going to say literally? Going the right direction anyway is what didn't happen, but I could barely stay up when we launched into the choreography. As it turns out, pole dancing fitness is more pole than dancing. Initially, I had fun stretching to the upbeat pop tunes. I was full of quips and good humor, ready to showcase my sensuality and smiles as I shimmied closer to my pole. The first 8 counts were doable. I was swinging along as though I was clutching a benign maypole. So far, so good. We stopped briefly, going over moves I normally love. Leaps, hip rolls, backward arches. Yay! All right. This was going exactly how I imagined it would. Until we put it all together. Well, that's when I came apart. Pole dancing fitness moves, as executed by me, did not manifest so much as an artistic form of expression as they did as a one-person tableau, showing what it would look like if a pole were used as a life preserver in a turbulent sea. As I watched our teacher demo how the routine was supposed to look, it dawned on me I was so far out of my league, I didn't even have a league. Where my body had immediately disconnected from the experience, refusing to perform the simplest of tasks, my mind was in overdrive, trying desperately to problem solve the situation. Mind over matter is usually a handy little saying, but not when I was dealing with the not so little matter of grasping a sweat slippery pole as I found myself in an ice skater death spiral time and time again. The mirrored room that I had looked so inviting when I arrived now garishly reflected my out of control moves from the perspective of a funhouse mirror. It mocked my every attempt by not even allowing me to fantasize that my efforts looked better than they felt. I tried, oh, how I tried, but it was no use. By the way, screaming, "Here I go!" does nothing by way of mastering the routine, nor scoring pretty points. The solution, and as it turns out, was also the problem: body weight. Not only was I attempting to launch, hold, and swing my Rubenesque lusciousness up and onto a pole, but we were schooled to use our body weight for momentum. Uh-oh, I couldn't master the science of leveraging body mass quickly enough. The question became, did I even want to? While our instructor beautifully rocked her reed-thin body to and fro, using her pole as a prop, that just showed how she flowed with and just oozed flexibility. And oh, that athletic prowess. I was juxtaposed as the opposite of all that. I had taken my own advice to be the pole to heart. Stiff, immovable, unable to change my form. I've never been known for my skills at defying gravity, as my severe pommel horse flashbacks from middle school will attest. At one point, I had the oddest sensation I was being watched by someone. As I glanced out the window, I saw a group of someones standing in the parking lot, no less than 20 of them, watching my one-ring circus act due to my awesome pole positioning next to the aforementioned window. Oh, great. Witnesses to my embarrassing display. That seemed about right. Pole dancing fitness is billed as an opportunity to channel your inner vamp when you can throw a come hither look over your shoulder as you slide your sinewy body hither and thither. Well, for me, my body was out of control hither and thither, and my look was more along the lines of come hither and help me up. I attended the class with a group of friends, none of whom were overly encouraged by our efforts. So as we headed out the door, I asked kiddingly, "Let's take a poll. How many of you are in for next week?" 0 takers. Now that's my kind of poll. I have oodles of related I tried this pieces in my humor book available on Amazon. The book is called BANGS N BOTOX. See, I got a theme here. Well, it's a brand is what we call it. My aging journey into, through, and beyond denial, fillers, and natural preservatives. What now? You think I should have gone with a longer, more descriptive title? Right. So now we go into the musical portion of the show that you're not going to hear during the podcast, but you can access in this description below. I call it Songs You'll Be Humming. So this is my third installment of Songs You'll Be Humming. This episode offers up an empowerment-themed playlist featuring songs like Helen Reddy's Hear Me Roar, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, and that classic by Aretha Franklin, Respect. This time around, I really had to stop myself because I put together 32 songs with quite the array of genres. Remember, you don't gotta be a woman to enjoy this show or these songs. We share these experiences that I'm talking about from the perspective of this woman, but you don't have to be a woman. You'll see that link again in the description below. The playlist is hosted on Spotify. And here's a fabulous new mini section I'm introing called Vocabulary Versatility. Oh yes, I do love alliteration. These are delicious words you can introduce into your daily conversations to really up the ante on showing your vocabulary versatility. Today's word, espouse. Espouse. Nope, doesn't have anything to do with a spouse. This nice little verb means to adopt, embrace, or heavily support a cause, belief, or way of life. This is when you can tell I'm an English teacher. It also possesses the connotative element of letting folks know you're deeply committed to an idea. Well, how would you use espouse in a sentence, you might ask me? I'll just go ahead and be you for the purposes of this episode. Well, here's an example. I espouse personal empowerment without the need for outside validation because this leads to self-fulfillment, happiness, and joy. Now, you try it out there in your world. Let me know how it goes. Now we've got my recommendations I call the somethings. So something I'm wearing. I know it sounds like it's going to be something that's going to be really cringy right here. It's not. You're okay. You don't have to fast forward. Number one is my new casual cotton black spaghetti strap summer overalls. Didn't see the rest coming, did you? They're overalls. And they're trending. And so yay, relevancy. I don't know whether I'm just noticing oodles of women are wearing these because I'm now obsessed with this clothing essential, or if they're just that ubiquitous. It's a must. Is it baggy? Heck yeah. Is it comfy? You know it. Is it breathable cotton? Well, it's breathable, but not so much cotton. Going along with the theme of empowerment, hang with me on this one, being unique you is my new love of asymmetrical earrings. So they're thematically connected because asymmetrical earrings, one is different from the second one. The ones I'm loving right now, it's a bird cage on one earring and then a beautiful bright blue bird for the other one. How does that really relate to empowerment? Well, they're different. And that's wonderful. It's genius. It's fun. It's creative. Just like you. Something I'm reading. I love the #1 Ladies Detective Agency series by Alexander McCall Smith. They're set in Botswana and they feature the wonderful character of Ma Precious Momatsui. She sets up a detective agency using the inheritance from her father, and the stories represent the very best in feel-good, you're right there storytelling. I just finished book number 26. It's called In the Time of 5 Pumpkins. And I'm always sad when the stories end. Fun fact, there was a BBC series that aired in 2008 based on these, but sadly it ended after a 7-episode run. Boo-hoo, if only my vote was all that mattered on these programs, but 'tis not how it works. Something I'm watching. Oh man, you got to tune into this Widow's Bay on Apple TV. It is spooky and funny. It stars Matthew Rhys, Stephen Root, and just a whole host of other great actors. The show follows Matthew Rhys playing Tom Loftus, a beleaguered mayor, in this quirky, isolated New England island town, we'll call it, who's determined to modernize the town and boost tourism. The only problem is the island has been plagued by a deadly curse for centuries. And the Martin Short documentary on Netflix, Marty Life is Short, is very well done. I don't know about you, but I do love me a documentary where the subject is still alive. It's way more uplifting. Now, sadly, having said that, there are several passings that Martin Short has experienced and he talks about, including his wife. But the whole documentary is just excellent, showing us plenty of footage and pics of a 50-year career that showcases the true talents, and there are so many of Marty Short. Even better, his absolute best chapter in his life in terms of his career is the one he's experiencing now, later in life, as an elder. I love that. And it's worth mentioning, I've been watching the Night at the Museum movies as fast as I can because they're leaving Netflix soon. They are so fabulous. I love seeing history brought to life. And to see Robin Williams again, it is such a joy. Before I yodel out, that's a wrap, let's get to our closing essential questions. Empowerment is so, well, should I say it? Powerful as a theme. And it's absolutely exquisite for putting together essential questions that empower you. And so here's a couple of quotes that'll set this up. First, if you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. That's Maya Angelou. Next up, the second out of three I'm going to give you, everything is within your power, and your power is within you. Janice Trackman. And the third one, don't be afraid. Be focused, be determined, be hopeful, be empowered. Michelle Obama. So I have both essential questions for you and a little affirmation I wrote that I wanted to share with you. First up, these are your "it's all about me" questions. I would love to have you maybe take a moment in between each, press pause, and so you can really think about how you feel when I ask you these. And there are 10 of them, so get ready. You might want to press pause, get a fine beverage that you enjoy, and then here we go. Number 1, have you done everything you can today to make your life more meaningful for you? Number 2, what's your next best thing to do? Number 3, how would you like to develop your story? Number 4, what is your unique contribution? Remember, sidebar, nothing is too small here. Often that's just our perception. Number 5, what do you want to spend less time on? Number 6, what risk would you take if you knew you couldn't fail? Number 7, what are you committed to accomplishing or achieving? Number 8, at what time in your recent past have you felt most passionate and alive? Number 9, what do you most connect with and why? Last one, number 10, who do you most connect with and why? And now for that mantra. Maybe also consider putting this one on repeat, I said to myself. So here we go. I will not be stifled, lectured, held back or down, told how to think, told I'm not enough or that I'm too much, nor judged in any way. I require and deserve acceptance. I proudly and unapologetically travel down all the lanes in my journey. I'm an exquisite, one-of-a-kind, natural wonder, and I celebrate me daily. That's a wrap for this week, dear listeners. Our experience is a shared one. Thank you for taking the time to connect. Whether it's in person, via the airwaves, or the written word, it's all powerful in creating community. This is your time when you listen to this podcast and we connect about how you can celebrate who you are. Now, don't just choose all the lanes. Swerve into your lanes. In addition to a spouse, I would say swerve is an excellent vocabulary versatility word. Swerve onto, into, out of. One life, limitless lanes, zero apologies. You're right away. Until our next Bangs and Botox, Women Who Wear Aging Well, Comedy Coffee Klatch podcast, friends.